Hi, so now we're going to work on putting it all together. You already know how to add and subtract fractions when they have the same denominator, and you already know how to convert between mixed numbers and improper fractions. And so now we're going to put it all together and discuss really why we do this. So the first thing I need you to do is go and get this sheet of paper and go and get some colored pencils and a glue stick. And you're going to glue this like so in your interactive student notebook. So if you want to go ahead and pause the video while you go ahead and do that, and then you can press play again when you have it glued in. Okay, so we're back, and hopefully you have everything glued in. So now we're going to talk about when we can use this to help us when we're adding and subtracting fractions. So I'm going to be using markers just because it shows up better, but you're going to be using colored pencils. So in problem number 1, we're going to show how we can add 2/3 plus 2/3, which you already know how to do. So go ahead and write that down. And that means we need to divide these whole rectangles into how many equal pieces? Well, hopefully you said 3 equal pieces because you looked at the denominator, and the denominator is what tells us how many equal pieces that each whole is divided into. So let's go ahead and divide this top rectangle into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to find the middle, and then I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to find the middle again, and I'm going to go forward a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close to 3 equal pieces. And then I need to do the same thing to the bottom one. So I need to So each whole is divided into 3 equal pieces. So we need to color in 2 of these 3 equal pieces to represent 2/3. And then we're going to color in 2 more of these equal pieces. So as you can see, I don't have space enough to do it all in this hole. That means it's going to be more than a hole. So I'm going to color in 1 here. And then I'm going to color in 1 more here. So how many have I colored in all together? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where that 4/3 comes from when we add these together. So over here I'm going to write it as an improper fraction. This is 4/3. But let's pretend on a test I look and I know my answer is 4/3, but I look into my answer choices and 4/3 is not an answer choice. So in this case we're going to have to convert 4/3 into an improper, a mixed number, which you guys know how to do. You would divide 4 into 3, which goes in 1 time. You have 1 left over, so that becomes 1 1/3. But I want you to visually see it here. Is that, look, it's 1 whole and 1/3. So 1 whole and 1 more third. So there it is. And that's why we have that, is because when we add and our answer equals over a whole, then we have to convert that improper fraction to a mixed number. But sometimes when we're subtracting, we have to do the opposite thing first. So let's take a look at your second set of rectangles. And we're going to try the problem 1 1/4 minus 3/4. I didn't give myself very much space to write here, but so take a minute to look. How many equal pieces are each of the rectangles going to have to be divided into? Hopefully you said 4 because you looked at the denominator, and the denominator is what tells us how many equal pieces we divide the whole into. So in this case we're going to divide it into 4ths, which is even easier. So we're going to find that halfway mark, and we're going to mark it. And then we're going to come in the middle, halfway in between that half, and halfway in between that half. That gives us 4 equal pieces. And then we're going to do the same thing to the bottom. So in this case, if you saw a problem like this, 1 1/4 minus 3/4, you might not know what to do. But let's color it in first and then see how it's the same thing that we've done before. So we're going to color in 1 whole. then one more fourth, 1 1/4. And then we need to take away 3 of those fourths. So I'm going to actually use a different color for this. I think it might be a good idea for you to use a different color too. You can use red, very Christmassy. So we're going to take away 3/4. So I'm going to take away this, and take away this, and take away this. So how much are we left with? We're left with 2/4. So, and you knew that, but you would have to, how would you have to do this mathematically? You would have to convert 4 times 1, and then add the 1 more, which would be 5/4. 5/4 minus 3/4 is easily 2/4. So we're going to write it as a improper fraction. We'll write, we will end up with 2/4. Sorry. Now we'll just put that 2/4 here because it's how it is.